The West is making yet another move to punish India. You must have heard about Quad, a security grouping of the top four democracies of the world: India, US, Japan, and Australia. Now, India's engagement with the group is being undermined. Is US planning to ostracize India? And if yes, will that push India towards the Russia China camp? We shall know in this video. Hi and welcome, you're watching Outright. We tell you the right side of the story. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for such outright videos. Recently, I came across this report which led me to make this video. The title reads, Philippines paving the way toward a new Quad. The report says India has failed the Quad group by not standing up to Russia. And let me quote from the report. Not only has India declined to join Western-led energy sanctions imposed on Russia, but rather has doubled down on importing Moscow's discounted oil, undermining the Quad's credibility and cohesion in the process. And that is why plans are being made to create a new Quad, this one without India, but with Philippines. Yes, some think Philippines may supplant India's role in the Quad. It is positioned closer to China, and unlike India, it can be arm twisted into choosing a side, either China and Russia or USA and the West. So, Australia and Japan, and especially US, have stepped up their military engagement with the Philippines. In early February, the Philippines and the US reached a deal to double the military presence of the US in the region. The US will now have access to 9 bases across the Philippines. These are the 9 bases that the US will now be able to access easily. On your screen now. Later this year, the Philippines is expected to host Japan, Australia, and US for a massive military exercise. This will see the participation of more than 16,000 troops. This is really a big one. Australia has offered to conduct joint maritime patrols with the US and the Philippines across the South China Sea. Speaking of Japan, the country has also offered security aid package to the Philippines. A trilateral US-Philippine-Japan defense deal is now also under consideration to consolidate interlocking defense cooperation among the three countries. Australia is also pursuing expanded military cooperation with the Southeast Asian country. So, by replacing India with the Philippines in the new Quad, US wants to subdue India's geopolitical charm. Anyway, it has punished every other developing country taking sides with Russia. For instance, South Africa. The country chose to stay neutral and it was quick to attract American threats. Now the country has been grey-listed by Financial Action Task Force. What that means? The West now accuses South Africa of financing terrorism. By the way, Pakistan does not feature on this list. Common sense says this move was just a part of the political vendetta. India cannot be grey-listed, also it is too big to be forced into choosing sides. So, this new way of punishing India is being devised. But does that make sense? Is replacing India with the Philippines a good move? The answer is of course not. Firstly, Quad was never made to counter Russia, it was always meant to counter China. And in the 21st century, India is the only country on the planet having China's blood on its hands. Secondly, Quad is much more than the military dynamics. There is the economic aspect that is in fact as important as the military. As a Quad member, India is even better positioned to help the US, Japan, and the rest of the free world get over its dependency on China for manufacturing. And then there is a bigger question. How will Quad function in the Indian Ocean without India? The American Indo-Pacific policy focuses only on the South China Sea, which is a flawed approach by the way. Only India can help the free world uphold the rule of law in the vast Indian Ocean, vital to world trade. The West and its followers in the East are of course free to build their own groupings and alliances, but making any alliance to counter China without India's involvement is only going to be a futile exercise. And no, this move will never push India towards China. As long as China is ruled by the Communist Party leader Xi Jinping, there is no chance of peace between China and India. So, the imagination that Russia, China, and India will come together to take on the West is totally baseless. India will continue to fight China with or without US, with or without Quad.